We're back on the Best Damn Nerd Show. We are talking the latest series from Amazon. We are talking about Robert Kirkman's latest adaptation effort. We are talking... Welcome back to the Best Damn Nerd Show. James Kincaid alongside Professor Chris Davis. And yes, we are talking about the latest, I guess you could call it the hit Amazon show. It certainly has generated a lot of buzz. I don't know what the metrics are of the streaming stuff yet. Some
at least in the Discord.
Yeah, exactly. That's bestdamnnerdShow.com/Discord. Some companies like to hide what their true streaming numbers are because they have an ulterior motive. We'll talk about that in another video, but we are going to be talking about Robert Kirkman's Invincible, the Amazon adaptation. We have binged it. We have finished it. Season 1 is in the books, and Davis and I have both watched it. So we're going to be reviewing Season 1 of Invincible here for you on the Best Damn Nerd Show YouTube channel. So overall thoughts on Invincible, Davis?
I mean, just wonderful. I mean, I was hooked from episode 1. It doesn't take 2 or 3 episodes to get you in. It's 1. And I'm not going to get too much of the story at the moment. It's just good characters, good voice acting, good animation, and just a good story. I mean, that's this show is all about. I think the general heart of the story. There's some good side plots here and there, but I think the main story arc between Invincible and his father is the key to this, and it's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I was blown away by how quickly it hooked me as well, and just the incredible cast that they got for this show. Wow. And it is animated, which was not what was told to me at first, or Davis, but that's
not advertised.
That's fine. I mean, I'll take it. But I mean, you have Steven Yeun from Walking Dead, Glenn, which honestly is a minus in this show's favor at the start, but he did very well in spite of the fact that I hate the character of Glenn. He did well. Sandra Oh played his mom, Debbie, and then you got J.K. Simmons playing Omni-Man, who he was just fantastic. And Jillian Jacobs, you had Walton Goggins, Seth Rogen pops in there, John Hamm, just to name a few. But I mean, just Clancy Brown, of course, Mark Hamill. Really just an incredible Lauren Cohen. Keep going down the list here. An incredible cast that were lending their voice to this show. And man, I really loved so many of the characters in this show. Like, I believe it's in the first episode they kill the original Guardians of the Globe, right? At the it's the second one. Okay, so the second one they kill them. And I was bummed out because...
Spoiler! Zunes on pause.
Yeah, sorry. There will be spoilers. So please pause your Zunes or other non-name brand MP3 playing devices now, if you will. But God, what I really liked the Guardians of the Globe characters, and they get waxed in the second damn episode. And it's like, man, give me some more Darkwing.
I mean, this is key. We're just playing off DC here. And I love that. I mean, we're taking DC characters, we're throwing them into a more realistic world, and this is kind of who they are and their limitations to be realistic. They're just giving them different names with the same powers, pretty much, and that's cool because you can automatically relate to these characters. I think that's kind of a cheap in to this series, which is smart. It's smart from a marketing perspective because you don't need the name brand because you can already see who they are. So it's a nice, easy way in.
Well, I mean, Watchmen did sort of a similar thing with Alan Moore. Right. He took some lesser known characters, but fit sort of more traditional archetypes and fit them into that Watchmen role. By the way, bury the lead on some of the people here. Michael Dorn, who played Battle Beast. We had Justin Roiland, Mahershala Ali, Lenny James, who's also from Walking Dead. A lot of Walking Dead alumnus in this show, but Lenny James, who voiced Darkwing.
Don't you dare skip on Zachary Quinto on Robot.
Oh, yeah. That's right. That's
Mr. Hero himself.
Yeah. By the way, Zachary Quinto as Robot, he was one of my favorite sort of side plots too. of what they had going on.
Did not see that coming, which we can get into. But
yeah, I really gravitated to this, and it just got me thinking. It's like, okay, here's characters that, yes, they're playing on all of the sort of the Justice League stereotypes and things of that nature. But like Watchmen, it's sort of a murder mystery as well throughout, and you have this sort of Kryptonian aspect with Omni-Man and with Invincible. And I liked Invincible. I liked the main character, but he's not sort of he's sort of more of a means to an end for me to get to know some of the other characters that I liked more. To be honest with you, I liked again, I liked those Guardians of the Globe characters. I liked Eve a lot in this, and I was definitely shipping those two as well. I preferred Invincible and Eve being together. I wanted to see that power team up to happen.
I really like that they held off on that though, because I think that they know that this series has legs, and
yeah,
that there's clearly enough story here, which by the end of this season, there's plenty of storylines. There's plenty of side characters to go on, which we'll end with. But when it comes to Adam, Eve, and Invincible, I love what they showed with Invincible and a real life human relationship and him, because it's very comparable to what his dad and his mom had to do. It's like, so okay, this had to happen with these two. How does it happen with his son and how he's going through it? So it's two different instances through this, and since he's not full his dad's blood, spoiler alert, we kind of get that extra side of him that I think he needs to be that hero.
Yeah. Who are some of your favorite characters throughout the show?
There are so many good characters. I was blown away. I really liked the robot character of Zachary Quinto. It was very, there's not a lot of emotion, but there's a good storyline behind Robot by the end of season 1. Beyond him, I when it comes to the bad guys, I really actually like the MauLer twins. They're fun. They're good enemies. They're reoccurring. They're smart. They're brutal. They have strength to them. They have intelligence behind them, and there's a lot of legs behind them because they can keep repeating themselves, and there's a little bit of inner turmoil because they don't know who the real one is. Is there really a real one anymore? Probably not. Or is there a clone? There's a lot of
it's very prestige.
There.
It's very much so like
that great call.
Who's the man in the box kind of deal. Yeah. Like I was getting all sorts of vibes with that. Yep. I gotta name the one that Clancy Brown voiced. I think Damien Darkblood, the demon detective, was maybe my favorite character of season 1. I really enjoyed his whole
the Hellboy of season 1.
Yeah, but it was like a smaller role, but he was kind of Rorschach-esque as well, in sort of his dogged determination in trying to bring out the truth, and he knew the fix was in with Omni-Man and all that stuff, and I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to seeing him hopefully pop up in season 2 and beyond.
Oh, just incredible character, and I would go with I love the good and bad of Cecil.
I do too.
Of Walter Goggins' character, because and he is so honest in who he is as a person and how he views himself. Yeah, I don't think you get that a lot in these characters. They're like the good, like high agent, or the bad. There's not a middle ground. And Walter Goggins' character, Cecil Stedman, Walton. His character is just, he is that middle ground, and he's like, no, I don't like myself. This is who I am.
That was one of the best lines of season 1 when Debbie says, like, I hate that about you. And he just, when he essentially, he cannot stop himself from doing what's right for the rest of Earth, which might endanger Invincible and Omni-Man. And, Debbie says, I hate you. And he says, it's what I hate about myself too. And that was like a very cool moment. And how he ends season 1 is, though, really in that sort of, yes, he has this shadow world that he's a part of, but he definitely comes out like a paragon by the end of season 1, and that he really is, on the side of good, at least for now. We'll see how it goes in future seasons. And I guess we should have said this at the top. I have not read the comic at all, so I'm going in completely clean, just like with The Boys. And, after hearing what Jeff and others have said after reading The Boys and then sort of changing their opinion of the show or whatever, it's like, I don't want to read the comic because I'm enjoying the show. So I don't want that to sort of get spoiled for me. I really liked Black Samson as well. I enjoyed him. I hated Rexplode. Rexplode was just such and I know we're supposed to not really like him, but man, I really just don't like him. I can't believe he didn't get axed in season 1, didn't get killed. Adam Eve is so much better than him. Adam Eve is a great character too. I really enjoyed her. I liked how her powers looked. I dug it, and I want her and Invincible to be a thing.
I love how her season arc ended with, she's just kind of there solving the climate, the world's problems of what she can actually change. I love that. That was so touching to me. And when you got Rexplode on this other side that she used to date,
guys
voiced by
Jason
shit, Mastaka, the League guy, he voices so much now, and he's just supposed to be the douchey asshole. But in this role, it's a little over the top. Like he is an over the top character, and I get that. But that doesn't. I don't feel like I that works in this show. I get what you're saying, why you don't like him, but he is very typecast. He doesn't do anything else. And
his I think though was like you said, it might have been too over the top, even in the confines of a show like this. It was just like a little much, and I feel like he's always been a little much in a lot of the things that he's done. One of my favorite characters. Yeah, no, I get that. One of my favorite characters that we haven't mentioned was Amanda / Monster Girl. What a cool, just a very interesting power that she had, where she transforms into this. It's her curse that she can transform into this monster, but it's essentially Benjamin buttoning her, where she's getting younger and younger. At each time that she uses her power. I thought that was really, really cool. How they did that, and that whole training montage when they're trying to find the new Guardians of the Globe was awesome. Yeah,
Monster Girl, like you said, she transforms a week younger each time she transcends into the monster, which is it may not seem like a lot, but as much as they need her, that can be much so quick. And she has such an interesting role of how she really communicates with these other characters and how she conforms, especially with Robot. And I did not see that was one of the things that kind of stuck out to me as a negative in this was I didn't see where the connection of her and Robot came to be so quickly.
I'm trying to think back. It was the first thing that I can think back on is when he could tell that Rexplode was into her, and that might have been mutual, which is why he grabbed her DNA. But, Rexplode, is a handsome man, but acts like a complete ass. So, whereas I think he sort of thought if only I had a body like his, I could show her how much I care. Kind of deal. And I do like that they called him out for how fucking creepy that was. but at the same time, it still ended up working out, at least for now. I got a shout out to the speedster from the original Guardians of the Globe. Was it Red Rush?
Yeah, Red Rush. Yeah.
Love how they showcased him, even though and his death, although brutal, and I think some of the brutality in the show is a little gratuitous and over the top, and I wasn't a fan of that. His death, which was incredibly brutal, though, made sense in the confines of what they were doing. But my favorite thing about Red Rush is when he was with his girlfriend or fiance or whatever it was, and he was talking to her about how his sort of superpower completely changes how he interacts with the world at all times. So the fact that everybody is moving at this just glacial pace compared to how he operates in the world is sort of painful for him to hold normal conversations at a normal speed and stuff like that. That I love that they went into that with him. I thought that was super cool.
That type of information is definitely left out of most superheroes, because how just like that, just like you're saying, that would be so painful if you are always moving at that pace and you don't always have exact control over it. I'd like to see what his power set truly is, because if you can really turn it off, turn it on, which at your highest peak I would think you could, like Flash at his highest peak, then you can live with it. But if that's how it truly is, dear Lord, like end me now, because that is brutal. That is brutal, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And once again, shout out Walton Goggins playing Cecil Stedman. Just a tremendous character. And J.K. Simmons as Omni-Man, like we said at the top, awesome.
Omni-Man can't get overlooked in this show. Omni-Man, his role is phenomenal. I mean, you want to talk about a character that has layers? Like, you want to peel back that onion? Dear Lord. Like, Omni-Man is this guy that you think has a family, has turned his back on his nation, and through this show, at some point you're going to learn about his history. I did not think he was going to be the main villain in this. I thought he was going to be a side villain and come to terms. Yes, he came to terms, but he was the main bad. Are we the real bad? Yes, you're the main bad, Omni-Man. It was brutal to watch. I mean, it was the last 2 episodes. The violence in that, the train scene,
that was too much for me. I do think that they went too far in certain spots.
I don't. I think that was right. And it's sad to say that, because if you want humanity, you want to teach somebody where he's coming from, that's probably, I would think you would actually almost have to take it a little bit further than that. I mean, he is literally holding him into a moving train, running him through bodies, getting covered in their blood. It is so disturbing. But I don't think he's wrong in what he's trying to prove to him.
I do.
I'm not on his sense because I'm from Earth.
He's trying to subjugate Earth. I don't know if he's particularly layered as you say, but I did enjoy when we finally did get his backstory, and he is just from this imperialistic empire of whatever they're called. What is their race?
Can't even tell you. But if he wasn't layered, then it would Viltrum.
Yeah,
that's the planet. If he wasn't layered, then it wouldn't have ended how it did. It wouldn't have ended with him flying off.
Sure. I get that. And
there's a lot more to the last 20 years on Earth.
Well, I do like that they made a big point with Seth Rogen's character about, it was like, we've never known a Viltrumite to abandon his post before, and like that's probably going to be a huge deal and all that stuff. I loved how they ended the season showing where it can go with like all of the villains coming back and everything like that. It's like that's such a great way to set up season 2. I was all about it.
There were so many characters. You were like, oh shit, that's right. We didn't get to finish that storyline because guess what? This whole story arc was fucking bananas. It was so great. You were still entranced and you didn't care where that character went. You didn't care where the storyline went. There's fucking face huggers that are coming into Earth that you know about in like episode 5 in an 8-episode arc that are supposed to take over Earth, and you completely forget about them because that's how good the story is. We don't need them. That could be a future arc. We'll deal with that later.
It's funny. I'm glad you brought up the thing going on Mars, because that was one of the side stories I was most interested in. I was like, oh, when are we gonna revisit this business? And then they tease it at the end of season 1. And I also appreciate the stuff on Mars because Invincible doesn't know any better. He starts talking about his lineage and stuff like that. We're known, for doing good stuff throughout the universe. It's like, yeah, no, not really.
Are you though?
Yeah,
are you?
Not really. But once that all came around, that was great. I thought it was pretty funny that Seismic, what was it, Dr. Seismic or whatever his name was, trying to bring down Mount Rushmore. So, I mean, it was a little silly, but it was great. It worked.
They're
subjugators. They were racist. Like, I was laughing.
But this is exactly the stereotypical, like when you get a big comic story arc, you get these side stories in them, and they're just laying it out exactly how these stories are played out. It's like, yeah, sometimes you're going to get some of the main story arc. Sometimes, guess what? You're going to get Doc Seismic, and you're going to get these volcanic cavemen to fight for me, and we're going to battle you. Cool. That's going to pop up every now and then, and you're going to have to deal with it. We'll get some intertwined storyline, character building in the middle. But they're just so blatant about it. I don't think they're trying to like say, hey, audience, we get that you know what we're doing, and we're going to play with that.
Finally, we haven't talked about Mark Hamill's involvement. We mentioned that he was part of this cast, but he plays the super suit tailor. It's a smaller role, but an important one. Just instantly recognizable Mark Hamill, but I enjoyed his role in the show. It was nice hearing him pop back up again, and something, that Disney hasn't ruined.
Yeah, he is. Oh, it's funny because he is the same character of the Invincibles of the movie, from the little uniform woman to this show. So it kind of
Incredibles.
Yeah, that's the one.
There you go.
Sorry, it's a couple different letters. Anyways, he is really good in this. That character is really good in this, and you really don't think he's going to make it past this season.
Seriously, yeah, absolutely.
There's some drinks had by him and Omni-Man at the end. You're like, yeah, he's probably done. This is where it ends for him, but I'm glad it didn't, because he just has some good conversations. They're not incredibly meaningful. They're good, but they're not deep. There's some good lines in there with him, but it's not his voice acting, really. I didn't know that was Mark Hamill until before we just started this. I couldn't tell his voice.
Really?
So yeah, no, I was like, oh yeah, that's Mark Hamill.
I mean, as soon as he talked, I actually would have liked to have seen more of him in the early episodes developing the suit. I just that's as somebody that worked alongside Mark Truex with Worlds Collide Comics, and designing superheroes and stuff. That's something it's just a part of the process that I always really liked. What anything on the negative side that you didn't like from Invincible?
Man, that's tough.
I mean, for me, I'll start. For me, and I know you disagree. I think it was a little bit too gratuitously graphic or vulgar at times. Sometimes it was a little bit, much on that front, sort of for just the sake of doing it. and I could have done without that at times. I get the point. But beyond that, I could from the concept I love, but I think if they just toned it down just a little bit, but that's me.
Yeah, no, I definitely disagree on that. I think a lot of that fit very well into the storyline. I can't really think of a moment I felt thrown off or anything like that. I mean, honestly, the biggest thing that threw me off was Rexplode.
Yeah, he was my least favorite character.
Dawkins' character. I don't think his voice fits in this. I don't think that type of character is that off the wall. I just don't think it fits in this story arc. That was the thing that threw me off the most, for sure. And then the other thing, Seth Rogen, can you please work on your voice acting? You have a very distinguishable voice, and that's fine. But for this show, just disguise it a little bit. You're an alien, and you're kind of a big deal alien, and you sound like a douchebag. You do. So stop it. It just doesn't fit like this. Like, he is supposed to be coming to Earth as Alan the alien and making sure that we have somebody that can protect it. Granted, he went to the wrong Earth. He might be a little bit dummy, but he's not that dumb. Like, he's clearly a guardian of multiple galaxies, and he sounds like should be wearing a helmet most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't bother me so much, but I totally get the idea. It's like, it's just Seth Rogen, and Davis is going off frame, I think, to reload on some drinky drinks.
Making sure my dog doesn't bark.
Some drinky drinks. We're gonna leave our Invincible review right there. I think overall, pretty much a home run. Really enjoyable. It's such a nice surprise because I had not followed the fact that this was even coming out. Just an unexpected treat.
You want to talk about a negative? Let's talk about Amazon Prime and their marketing, because this show has not been marketed. Is Anne on your marketing team? Is Anne work for Amazon Prime? I don't know, because somebody is messing up at Amazon. Nobody knew this show was coming out. Our Discord had to tell us, Gay Florida Nerd, thank you very much, because you did us a service. You made my weekend. Thank you. I spent all of it watching it, so there that goes. Thankfully, it was raining.
This is why we're doing it, as a thank you to our Discord. It's bestdamnnerdshow.com/Discord. Want to make sure that we did a special video, and not just in the weekly episode. So yeah, we're gonna make you watch this video to hear our thoughts about Invincible. Everyone,
I just can't. I mean, that's the biggest negative. I can't believe this was just swept under the rug. I feel like it has been. And maybe that is on us a little bit if we're not following along enough, but I don't think it is. I think we have our finger on the pulse enough to know if something like this has been this well receptive.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big miss on Amazon. There's a lot here that has a lot of potential, and I know it's already been approved for season 2 and season 3, and I really hope that they try to build it up because it deserves it.
All right, we're going to leave it right there. Thank you so much for watching this far, Nerdosphere. Be sure to like and subscribe. Join us in Discord one more time. That's bestdamnnerdshow.com/Discord. And if you, like Amazon, have saved money on marketing, join our Patreon, bestdamnnerdshow.com/Patreon. We appreciate all the support.